Hello, my friends. I'm AJ Smith, the Joy Weaver, and this is the Oh My Goodness podcast. Today, I am joined by my favorite person in the whole world, my husband.
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so would you like to introduce yourself outside of my husband, Jer? I call him Jer. His name is Jeremy. But share just a little bit about yourself and yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I'm Jeremy. I am 36 years old. I like long walks on the beach.
Yep.
Kinda. Long walks on the beach are nice when the beach is nice, I guess.
When
But
the beach is nice, yeah.
in the military 13 years, going on 14, and that's been great. And I'm really excited to be married to this one right here and happy to be here.
Oh, my heart.
I love Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings. I love sci-fi movies and video games. Um, and been highly obsessed with woodland creatures lately. Like tattoos of woodland creatures. I got the fox tattoo, and I think I want to get an otter tattoo next, or maybe a bear tattoo. So
I
yeah.
love this. I didn't know about the bear tattoo, but I'm here for it. Okay, so I've actually been dreaming. I don't know if you know this. I've been dreaming about recording this episode with you since I started this podcast
Ooh.
because we've been married for 16 years. August 1st is our wedding anniversary of, I almost said 1989, but that's my birth year. We got married when we were a baby. But
Meant to be.
yeah,
Destined ones.
2009.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so wild. So we got married when we were 20 and we're 36 now, and we've been together for 17 years. And in our world, especially in military culture, there's a lot of people who get divorced, remarried, married, just all the different things. And so I think we have something really special that people have commented on before, and I'm so grateful for. And I've had people ask us questions and ask me questions about like, hey, what is your husband like? Is he, as calm as you say he is, or is he like you, or does he like to travel? So I just thought having him on the podcast would be kind of cool to share kind of the man behind the curtain who supports me, but also is just astounding in his own right. And I will probably cry because I,
That's how you
tear up the
that's
nose.
how you express
That's how I
emotion. I
express
understand.
emotions. Okay,
That's fine.
so background. One of the questions we got asked, he mentioned that he's military. We got married while we were in college, and it was the summer before our junior year. So we had 2 years in college together where we were married. I think it was pretty great because we got to try out marriage, sort of. I mean, not try out, but we got to have marriage in a safe space before we launched into the world.
Right.
So, like, we had us kind of grounded before we launched. Yeah, I guess anything you want to say about early marriage?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was probably not the wisest thing for us to get married when we were 20, right? That was probably, and not in the rapid sense that we did get married. That's one of those things where it could have gone very poorly, it could have gone very bad, but it didn't. It didn't, and for a variety of reasons. Top of the list is that you're so awesome. So,
Oh,
I agree. I think it was a good start in that we could spend the first couple of years of our marriage where all we had to worry about was classes. And like, yeah, classes are a big deal. Classes can be stressful, but neither of us were pursuing majors that were high technical, high like required a lot of work and stress, right?
yeah.
We were able to do the college thing and then come home after classes and learn how to live with a new person in a much more intimate way than like you normally do with roommates and stuff like that. So
Yeah. It's funny too, because we got married. There were so many signs. Like looking back on it, like we were 20, and now I'm like, oh my God, we were babies. But it was like divine timing, one right after another of the date we got married, married student housing opening up while we were engaged and put in a thing. Like it was just wild because we started dating September 1st. Then Jer, my mom gave you her promise ring for you to ask me to be promised to you, like dating with the intent to marriage. And that was October 1st. And then
sorry,
well, it felt special at the
it
time.
was.
Yeah, I still have it. But yeah, we've talked about purity culture on this podcast. We've talked about it, so we're just gonna skip over all that today. But
So it's
yeah, and then a month later, you proposed. which at the time felt like forever and we'd been together for forever. But everybody was like, what?
What are you
But we
doing?
were like, this makes so much sense. And like, I wasn't pregnant. Like, it just, I don't know. But like, looking back, I think it's just always felt right. I don't know. I do know. That's what I think. But, and then 9 months later, we were married, which makes it very easy just to think about numbers wise.
Yeah.
But man, we've grown so much in 16 years. My grandma said something to me once, and she said, you're going to become different people. You're both going to grow. You're not going to grow the same, but you've got to grow together like vines that intertwine, that even if you're growing apart differently, like keep twisting around the tree that is your marriage.
Mhm.
I'm chopping that
Yeah.
metaphor up, but
Well, and
yeah.
I agree, and we're kind of skipping to the last question
Mm,
here of like what is it that you think made the marriage work? Or
yeah.
paraphrasing that, but that's what I think was what it is, in that we said that from our beginning. We're going to grow together, grow to closer together. We're going
Yeah.
to change. We're going to change together, and so I think that is really the crux of having a marriage and maintaining that marriage, is that you recognize you're going to change, but you make a conscious effort to change with your partner,
Yeah.
to to adapt to how they change, respect how they change within reason, of course, but making that conscious effort and being willing go, take those steps with your partner, I think is incredibly important for maintaining that marriage.
Yeah. And I think too, having curiosity is kind of what comes to my mind, of like being curious as both of us have grown and shifted. Like both of us have continually asked questions about who we are becoming, and like, what are you loving? What are you interested about? What are you learning? I'm an avid self-help reader. Like I'm always growing. And so I always, I don't know, I just sometimes feel like a shapeshifter. But like maybe from the outside, it all looks the same, but I'm like, okay, here's what we're learning. This changes everything. And Jared's like, okay, okay. But I feel like you've met me with so much grace as I've shifted and grown and expanded my business, and that's changed over the years. What maybe this isn't the right way to ask this, but like, what do you credit, or how has that been for you, of me changing in business, life thoughts? Like I know I got sober. We've talked about this on the podcast before, but like walking alongside that, how has curiosity impacted you, or does it feel like something different?
Hmm. Um, I would say that your changes throughout our marriage they've always felt big to you, and I recognize that and I respect that, of course. But
Yeah.
they've never felt dangerous, right?
Mm,
they've never felt dangerous. They've never felt like she's coming out of left field, right?
yeah.
And so an honest, I credit us as having that honest, and earnest interest in what you're thinking, why you're thinking
Mm,
it, why these just changes important. And I've just never really felt threatened by any of your changes, right? Like I've never felt threatened by the things that, hey, I'm going to try this new thing, this new way of looking at my business, or at energy, at growth, everything like that. I think that for, unfortunately, a lot of marriages, it's easy to be threatened by that. It's easy
yeah.
for one partner, if a partner makes a change, it's easy for the partner that is maybe not changing or changing a different way, to feel threatened, to feel that like they're gonna leave me behind, or they're gonna do something that I either am unable or unwilling to follow them.
Mm,
And I've never felt that with you. I've
mm.
never felt that with you. I have not gone through the same shifts as you, right? Like that has often been a AJ's come and this is like, this is gonna change everything.
Jared's
This
like,
is such
okay.
an incredible thing. It's like I can't imagine, this is every every single year. It's like, Jim, this is gonna change everything.
Thing.
Every year, everything changes. And
Accurate.
now I'm just kind of like, okay,
Okay.
let's go. Let's go. Change ahoy.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it. That's so accurate. That's so accurate. We've talked about how I am an expansive storyteller. And so sometimes I'm like, oh my God. And then Jared's like, did that actually happen? Did they really say that? Did you really say that? I'm like, well, no, I thought it. So
You pretty much said
I can see how me being like, okay, this change is coming. You're like, okay, okay, I'll watch it. Something I think has been really helpful in making marriage work in conversation. Yeah, we'll just work through our questions. Um, is the levels conversation,
Mm,
the levels tool.
yeah.
I think I wrote about it in the book. I don't know if I've mentioned it on the podcast, but basically, it's levels 1 through 5. And Jared actually called me out on this the other day because I was like, "This is a level 2, but it's a level 4 because it's important to me." But but here's context.
So which is
So which isn't? Can't be both. This is a 1 divided by a 4. Well, okay. So sorry.
0.25.
For those
0.25.
who are listening and not watching, that was me like thinking about like, oh, maybe that could work. But
Oh man.
okay, so 1 is like casual, we're just joking conversation. You don't really have to
Mm,
say, you're just like, hey, but 1 is like, hey, at the grocery store today, but here's what I need. Level 3 is, hey, I would like to be vulnerable. Please don't joke about this.
mm, yeah.
So this is great for,
Or a decision needs to be made, and I'm nervous about the decision.
yeah, it's not high stakes, but it's not low stakes either. Because sometimes when people get uncomfortable, they make jokes, they get nervous. When I'm being vulnerable, if people make fun of me or if they take it lightly or they jest about it, like I immediately crumple like an aluminum can in space. Like I am like, like my heart is broken. And
I don't think they'll crumple in space. Sorry, this was me making a joke like
no,
you're being
no.
vulnerable.
Well,
Sorry about that. I should have. It's a vacuum, so I don't think there's any pressure to.
oh, well, I was thinking, like you see the things and they go, they vacuum seal when they go out in space. Maybe I'm thinking of something else like a pressure
I
chamber.
could very well be wrong.
But probably not.
If I think if the can was open and empty, then there shouldn't be any change because it's just a vacuum. But if it's closed and like a can of Sprite,
Yeah.
then yeah, it might expand and
What
well,
would
in a flash
happen to a
freeze.
can of Sprite? We'll Google. We'll
Google.
come back. We'll find
But
out.
at the
But you
bottom
know
of
what
the
I'm
ocean,
trying to say.
bottom of the ocean.
There we go.
There you
That's
go.
a
Yeah.
great, yeah. Bottom of the ocean is how I get. I am an emotional panda
Mm.
on every day. I'm an emotional panda, which is fine. I express myself through tears, as you said earlier. But so 3 is just like, hey, I'm being vulnerable. I'm putting myself on the line, white flag. Not that there has to be an issue, but I want to have clear conversation, clear communication, and I want you to meet me here.
Yeah.
Level 4 is like, this is serious. Level 4 were the conversations we were having around COVID, family, vacations during COVID,
Mm.
moves, military life stuff.
Yeah.
Like when Jared was thinking about transitioning to become an officer, like that was a level 4 conversation. Me getting sterilized was a level 4 conversation. And then 5 is death, destruction, and divorce.
Right.
So 5 is like the nuclear option. So, but the thing is, you don't joke about the levels. So, um, before I kind of explain what happened last week with the 1 and the 4, do you kind of is there anything you feel like I'm missing about the levels thing?
No, I think you got it pretty much. It's all about the level of level of serious, level of threat, and level of vulnerability, right? Like, hey, this is a really serious conversation that's gonna involve family finances, going to involve the kids if they have them. It's going to involve how much is it going to disrupt what we have, and then that should correlate to how serious you take it. And sometimes also it's maybe the question or the discussion may not be super serious, or may not be like death, destruction, dismemberment, but it's about a sensitive enough topic that like I don't want to joke about it, right? Like things like weight or sex or stuff like that. Like those are things that maybe are not the actual discussion is not life or death, but they're sensitive enough that you just want your partner to be clear, like, hey, don't, this isn't a time to joke.
Yeah.
Right.
And those would be like level 3s, level 4s. Yeah, depending. So for context, last week, I went, or I guess it was this weekend. I went to go visit my friend Susie, my mentor in Destin, and it was lovely. And we got to go line dancing. For those who don't know me, dancing is like my love language. And the way I feel, the way I move when I dance, when I do ritual dancing, line dancing, is just unlike anything else. It refuels my soul. I am a new human. It is just great. And so I got to go dancing on Saturday night. I could cry just thinking about it. And it was so great. It was so great. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, oh yeah. But Destin is 3 hours away. And there's line dancing practices on Wednesday nights here, which is an amazing group. I love it. It's so nice. I kind of get my fill. But it's at the not the Camel Club. the guys with the hats,
Lions?
Shriners.
Shriners.
Yeah,
Shriners.
it's at like the Shriners Club, and so like all the lights are on. We got like a little speaker. I love it because dancing is dancing. But there's something about dancing in a club with really big speakers, and you got 40 people, and their feet are hitting at the same time to the music, and it's just the rush. It's and the floor is good. Ugh. And I was like, I need this. And so it's like a level one of like dancing is lighthearted. There's also level four of like, this is 3 hours away. Maybe every other month, could we take a mini trip up to Destin, or I take a girls' trip and crash at Susie's house or something like that? So I can go dancing on a Friday and Saturday night, but also I work festivals or markets on Saturdays. So that means there's going to be one Saturday a month I'm not working. So that was kind of the thing of like, it's a level one, like it's this lighthearted thing, but actually it feels for me like I am making a soul request. Four is probably not the right. Four wasn't, it's a three. But I guess for me, oh, like the soul impact
Mm.
feels it feels important. Um, which part of me feels is silly, but the other part of me is like, here we are. So to just kind of give an example of like something that is kind of lighthearted, but also is a serious conversation of, hey, is there a way to make this work? Or could I split a hotel? Or maybe we ask some friends to go do an Airbnb with us for a weekend every other month. I don't know.
Mm.
So we haven't figured it out yet. I haven't sat down on my calendar yet either because I'm also very busy and traveling half the time. So it's like, when do I have a free weekend to do this? But yeah, that's
Yeah. Totally. You bring actually a little bit of a side
yeah.
segue. You brought up a good example, I think, of something that I value in our marriage is that willingness to go do our own thing, right? I
Yeah.
have from day one, I have never felt the compulsion or need to like go with you to the country bars to go line dancing, right? I don't want to. I don't. I want to stay home and I want to play video games. There was a couple times where you were like, but this is how relationships are supposed to work. You're supposed to come to the bars with me and
Yeah.
and then I did that and I did not have
And
fun.
he was
And
miserable.
and then I told you that and then and then we were able to figure out that like you were worried about me being at home, being angry at you.
Because
Uh,
other people's spouses were.
right. There are others. There are other, and I'll call a spade, mostly dudes, right? That are insist on I can't let my girl go out by herself, right? I'm always going to go with her, even if he doesn't want to. So then he's miserable at the bar. We're not friends in the club, right? And but all is not, what's the phrase? All is not,
Oh, I don't
we are
know.
not fam. We are not, they're not fam in the club. Uh, either
Yeah.
way, uh,
In the club, we're all
club,
fans, friends,
fam
family.
in the club. I don't
I
know
don't
where
know.
the club came from, but I always found it really funny. But either way, sorry, back on topic. They are, yeah, they're just insist on going along to keep tabs on their girlfriends and wives, and then they're unhappy, and then their wives and girlfriends are unhappy because they're unhappy, and it's just nobody's happy about it. I don't know.
The energy is off.
I always kind of figured it was that sort of possessiveness was based on two fears, right? Either fear that the girl is going to cheat or fear that she's going to get taken advantage of or attacked in some way. Worrying about getting taken advantage of and attacked is understandable, but both of them, and to me, they always boil down to you either don't trust. If I was that way, it would
Okay.
be I would not. I'm either not trusting you to make right decisions and be faithful, or I'm not trusting that you can take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be that way. That's not how I wanted to see it. So, you've gone and done dancing as every time that you wanted. You've never had to worry about me, stomping my foot or being upset. And I'm perfectly happy chilling at home. But I think that's been good. I think that has been a really good thing for us that it has helped. It's not like it's a symptom of a deeper issue when couples have that problem. And I'm glad that we do not show those symptoms.
Oh my God. Same. Yeah. There was one time when we were in Omaha, we were traveling from Korea and we only had Korea phone numbers. I thought there'd be Wi-Fi in the place and there was not. And so I drove to myself while you were in training. We were both in Omaha and I found a great line dancing place. And I was so excited, but I couldn't text Jared that I was okay. And then, hey, I made it here safe. Everything's great. And so he stayed up till 2, 3 a.m. So worried. I found somebody who was willing to send an email to you to say that I was okay. They're like, you want me to email Jeremy? I said his email, and I was like, yes, please, because we couldn't get him on Facebook. This whole thing, whole 9 yards. And then I came home, and they're like, oh my God, that was so great. He's like, oh my God, I was worried. And so just in case you do out, I don't know, make sure you have your phone or have a way of contacting, but that is
Yeah.
such a specific circumstance. But yeah,
Our
no,
our
I think you're
phone our
right.
phone situations have always been so funny because we've had I do not know your phone number.
I don't know yours either. I don't
We
even think it's an
tried, like
830.
it's not.
It's a
But mine is I've had mine
478.
in Korea, but we've changed phones so often. We've changed phone numbers like 6 times now, and I'm just like
At least
I can't keep them straight.
8. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. But
it's a
now we
lot.
have Google
Now in Google, so we should be able to keep the numbers. So
is the thought.
yeah,
One more thing I want to say about that too is I um well, I'm happy to be honest. I get controlling sometimes where I have great ideas. We all know this.
best
And
ideas.
the best ideas. The world would be solved if everybody would just follow the AJ plan. Snacks for everyone, healthcare for everyone, human rights for everyone. Not that hard. And I also have come, I think, a very long way. You're welcome to remark on this, of not trying to control you as much,
Mm.
because I was actually really heartbroken in the beginning that he wouldn't want to go line dancing with me for something that brings me so much joy, so much aliveness. And if you listening to this, if you watched me dance, you know what I'm talking about. To understand and come to terms with what one of the things that makes me feel so alive and connected to spirit in a way I struggle to describe sparks less than zero joy from my husband. Not less than zero, because you can dance, but
Yeah,
like it's not,
doesn't bring me joy.
it's like dill pickles, right?
Yeah,
Occasionally you're like, I'll have a dill pickle, that's okay.
right.
But you're not like, oh, I'm alive. And so like coming to terms with that, because I'd be like, okay, come on, like you're gonna love it, it's gonna be great. But like he'd just be like, I just kind of want to read. But once I like let that go, there was more freedom for both of us, because I'm an extrovert, you're an ambivert, because people are like, he's also, but like he recharges at home, like he needs that solo time too, or time with his guys. And then I can just full out and dance. And also like I'm pretty intense about my dancing. So nothing's coming in between me and dancing. So anytime guys would be like, hey, what's your name? And I'm like, it doesn't actually matter. I'm just here to dance. Like, we're not gonna have this conversation. Like, do you twirl? Do you two step?
You
Yeah.
are but a vessel for the
You're
dance.
a vessel for the dance.
I do not need to know your name.
Oh my God. Yeah. And people will be like, I'm married. I can't dance with you. And I was like, cool. I'm married too. I just want to dance, and sometimes people are like, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm drenched. I'm gross and
You're
disgusting when
so gross when
I'm
you come home from dancing.
drenched.
Like it's so like it's like you jumped in a pool.
It is.
And I was like, there is no chance that this girl's going home with anybody.
I wouldn't touch me. Yeah, Jared, I think one time in my life, I tried calling into bed. And I was like, I'm so tired. It's 2 a.m. And Jared's like, AJ, I feel you on this bed. I could smell you. Go shower. And I was like, okay. I forgot deodorant on Friday night. And I was like, oh my God. I like sprayed myself down, but I was like,
Keep those arms
I
up.
think I'll pack a tank top. Okay.
Don't raise
We're
your
getting
arms.
off track. But I think it's all the same kind of point of allowing your person to have separate interests.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
okay. It's okay to like different things,
Mhm.
because you can thrive. And like, I think that kind of goes into somebody asked, I think it was like a hype up question for me that I appreciate. And she's like, you're married to an independent woman. Like, how do you cope? Or like, how do you handle that? Or how do you stay in touch and stuff? But like, I've gone to LARPs by myself. Like, I've traveled internationally by myself. You've taken a trip by
Mhm.
yourself as well.
Some
And
of
then
the
military life,
vacations.
which is such a big deal. And I think that Grace has been lovely to go have adventures and come back home. But also, hello, segue into that question. Because I think y'all laugh at our answer to this. When we are apart, how do we keep in touch?
Uh, I, I guess this one is well, okay. I'm going to start with just the I'm a man answer. Fine, we have phones, we have emails,
Oh yeah.
Facebook, right? It is I think we stay close by showing genuine interest in what each other's going through, right? So like when I'll go on a vacation when we were stationed in Korea, so Japan was a hop, skip, and a jump. So went to Japan by myself, and because you weren't that interested. And
Been
but
there.
you were not interested in going to Japan, but you were interested in hearing about my
Yeah.
experience, right? Like you were genuinely happy to hear me tell about the stuff, and I was genuinely happy to share. And it's the same thing I think with your thing. Like you do not call me when you're at LARPs because you that is a waste of time, right? You've got things to
I
do.
got cool girl shit
I've
to
got
do.
I've got 30 minutes of talking to you is 30 minutes that I'm not imbibing my character. And so yeah, I
True
understand.
statements.
But at the end of it, then I get the recap.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I think well, I'll like honestly, yeah, because I'll see other people that are like, I gotta go chat, and I love, and I think like maybe in the past we used to be more like like when he was deployed for a while, like I'd write letters and stuff, and now I'm just like, see you later. Um,
There's a lot of things,
yeah,
especially early in marriage, that and I think it's normal. You
yeah,
do because you think that's how it's supposed to be, right? You
yeah.
do things because, well, that's just
Mm,
how media and TV and movies and our parents, and that's how you think it's supposed to be. And it's the expectations, right?
yeah,
You had an expectation that the person you married was going to do line dancing with you, and you
I
had to
did. It
come to
was on my list.
terms that that expectation was not going to be met,
Yes.
right? I had for a little bit, I think I probably had unhealthy and unrealistic expectations about homemaking because I grew up with a stay-at-home mom who did a lot of homemaking,
And
and
kills it.
yeah, and she kills it. But like I had to very quickly rein that back in of just being like, no, that's not going to be. I can't expect that from AJ. You're not my mom, so
No, that's true. And also, it's been a learning curve too. Potato story.
I'll tell this. I'll tell this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like we said, AJ's
How
an
much better now?
emotional creature.
Uh-huh.
She's got a little bit of pride, a
A lot of bit of pride.
little bit of
We're working
pride.
on it.
So her mom would make potato soup, right? Potato soup, and she loved the potato soup.
I love potato
And
soup.
her mom, Lynn made it for me, and I loved the potato soup as well. It was
My
great.
mom's a great cook.
Yeah. So, so AJ, we're in student housing at UNI, and she's
We
like,
are poor.
I'm gonna make potato soup, and the soup will last us a while. And I'm like, that sounds great,
That sounds great.
fantastic. So you got your mom's recipe, and AJ's like, no, I don't need the recipe. It's like, well,
I know it.
did you make it with your mom? She's like,
Yeah.
sure. It's soup. How hard is it going to be?
How hard could
It's
it be?
just put stuff in pots, right? So she so, first off is the potatoes, and she just puts a pot of water. And I was like, how
In
much
the
water?
hot pot.
How much? No, it was just in the pot.
No, I thought that was in the pot.
How much water needs to go in the pot? I don't know.
All of it?
I don't know.
Yes.
Just fill up the
Fill
pot.
it up.
So then she puts the potatoes in and
Wait,
just
that's
boils the
me.
potatoes for a while. And then it's like, well, we also need chicken too. So we put the chicken in there. And at this point, I had concerns. I had concerns, and I tried to voice them gently. So like, darling, I don't think this is like,
It's
I
gonna be
don't think
great.
this is how it is. And she's like,
Yes.
I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Okay, just
I was
relax,
spicy.
relax. And so by the end, we put all this together, and it's still just watery potato chicken breast water.
But it gets better.
And then I talked to her.
You
I'm like,
brought it.
listen, it's supposed to be thick, so maybe we should
Where's
put
some milk?
something in there to thicken it. I need to be clear. Like, I'm not a master cook either. Like, I'm not. I would just follow the recipe,
Follow
right?
the
That's my
recipe.
thing. So it's not like it's not like I'm Gordon Ramsay giving her advice. Like we were both struggling through this. But I was like,
I
so
wasn't struggling. I knew exactly what I was doing.
you,
She did it with confidence.
you had a plan.
I had a plan.
The plan was shit. But you had a plan.
You give a disclaimer of like maybe don't listen on full volume in your headphones because I'm
Oh
just
wow!
dying
Shoot,
laughing.
is that's our one swear word? Now it's a PG.
Oh no!
Now it's a
I
PG
just click
13.
explicit. I swear.
Gotcha.
It's
Okay, so we're like, all right, how do we thicken this a little bit? And I thought to myself, well, and stews and things. I think you put flour to
Mhm.
thicken the soup. So we're like, let's get some.
And also we need milk.
So AJ's like, yeah, you're right. You're right. Immediately becomes her idea. You're right. We'll put some
Yeah.
flour and some milk in there. So she gets the skim milk from the fridge and like pours in an indeterminate amount, and
I
then
know. So
gets a
a
big old
cup.
cup of
He
flour and just dumps them in at once.
By this point, I think it was in the crock pot. I remember, I swear.
Maybe,
Anyways,
maybe.
doesn't
We
matter.
and so we tried to mix it up. So now it's become watery potato flour clump soup.
God, it was.
Oh, it was bad.
And then, oh, I was like, oh God, I was so white. I mean, I'm still so white, but I was like, oh, we need flavor. Do I grab real spices? No, I grab salt and pepper. That's it.
S&P the choice for me. But yeah, so that was an experience.
We
And it
tried
was
3 bites,
we had
almost threw up, and then we washed off the chicken just so that we could use the chicken. So we could use the potatoes and chicken. We just washed off the potatoes and chicken and threw the rest away. And I was like, it's a waste. But it wasn't.
we so that was one of those expectation things of hey, this is how my marriage is going to look. Not quite recognizing some of the work that has to go into making your marriage look that way. And if you want to put that work in, and if you want your marriage to look that way. And we recently discovered, hey, we've been doing the home chef thing, gets meal kits delivered. And we thought to ourselves, okay, we'll do this for a bit, but then we'll go back to like buying regular groceries and doing the normal thing. And we tried that and we didn't like it. So we had to come to terms with like, okay, we're not going to go out to eat every night, but we need to make food in some way, or it's not going to be full groceries. So let's order this meal kit. It's been working great.
Yeah. We often talk on this podcast about like, what is your level of accessibility for things? Like, what do you need? You know, and we're often like, but it should look like this. The fact of the matter is
it doesn't.
It doesn't. And the other thing is like, what is your baseline? And I struggle with this so much, is I am by nature, and it's something I'm trying to rewire and figure out. I am a messy person and I hate it. I hate this about myself. And like, like I try to be organized, or I'm like, okay, here's how it's gonna go. And then it's like, I walk through a room and then there's a tornado. And I'm like, I was just here. I just cleaned this yesterday. So like literally today on my docket is to clean my office. But it's been a process through the years too of figuring out organizational systems that work for us, but also alongside the cooking thing. Like both of us have gotten much better at cooking, and now I actually make killer potato soup that is actually requested at parties, including multiple spices. What? But like, I don't think I was a really great wife our first few years together. Like we were both doing the best we could with what we had, but like there was massive learning curves that I was not totally ready to like step into. And like, I'm so grateful both of us had the grace to like, okay, we're growing, we're figuring this out together. Like, okay, you know, there's like reading books and then there's doing the damn thing, you know? And so I think sometimes people think like, okay, you know, it's supposed to be easier, it's supposed to be great. And I feel like our marriage on the whole has been very easy, and it's taken a lot of intentional work to be like, oh, you know, me being like, okay, I can just home make like this. And like, no. So shout out to all of the moms and all of the people who are baking and running jobs and having, oh my God, throwing kids in the mix. I don't know how you guys do it, because you're full time. I'm like 3/4 time, I guess, ish.
Yeah.
And there's like just not enough time in the day sometimes. And so I'm just so grateful for the shared responsibilities and the communication that's happened. It feels like helpful. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anything else you want to kind of touch on that subject or move on?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I was about to be like, any questions you guys have, but you're listening, so you have no vote.
You get what you get.
You get what you get. You're gonna be grateful. Don't throw a fit. Okay. This is from Jess, who she's just lovely. Right. What has been your favorite adventure with me? And then I'll answer what's been my favorite adventure with you.
Ooh,
We've had a lot of adventures.
A lot. I think probably my favorite adventure with you would have to be Morocco.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Morocco was not my favorite vacation, right? But it was still a great vacation. You know, just not my favorite doesn't mean bad. It was a wonderful trip.
No.
But it was such a different experience than anything we've been in before. Like we were living in Europe at the time, and like yes, Europe is different, but it's accessible, right? It is accessible for an English speaker, and it is culturally similar to America. There's not that. But when you go from a European nation to a North African nation, a lot of differences, right? And so this was a trip that you were very excited about. And I think that's why it was my favorite, is because you were just so thrilled, right? Like the markets, the I don't know if they call them souks or not,
Yeah,
but
the
they're
souks.
souks. They are souks, yeah. So the markets and the piles of spices, and I liked it because I felt like I was in Aladdin, right?
Yeah,
That's what it looked like.
yeah,
A mixture of Aladdin and the Jaipur, the card game we like to
yeah.
play. Riding camels and stuff like that. But it was a trip that required or a trip that required a lot of patience. It was a trip that required a lot of go with the flow, grace for each other, right? Because there were things that you wanted to do and were not accessible. There were things that you insisted on doing that we could make it work,
Yeah,
right? And I had a voice as well about
yeah,
the things that I wanted to do.
yeah,
So yeah, all in all, I think it was just one of those trips where it was very different from anything we've experienced before. Navigating the city, getting from the hotel to, or like the airport to our hotel, that was an experience because we were like going dark alleys and people were trying to sell us drugs. And I was like, I didn't think you could do that. This is a Muslim nation. Are you
yeah,
gonna, you can't sell drugs.
yeah. Are you an undercover cop?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, and then, or then the people, the folks who would like come out of the woodwork to help us when we didn't need help because they wanted a tip,
yeah.
right?
And I'm so trusting of everyone that I was like, oh yeah, here's what we're trying to get. And then they take us and I was like, okay, thank you, bye. And then they're like, where's my money? And I'm like, and I go inside and I'm like, I just thought they were being helpful. And they're like, I got it. I'm like, okay, thank you. That is such a thoughtful answer.
You're welcome.
I love that.
Oh.
Thank you. I think we've had so many cool ones, but the one that's honestly coming to mind is our first cruise
Oh.
together.
Oh.
Because you, when you are excited, when you don't have the responsibilities that you have in your regular work life and you actually feel free, you like shift. There's this lightness
Hmm.
and like just like go with it energy that you have that like you've just got to be on a lot for work and stuff.
Hmm.
And so when you're actually like, I'm done, I'm off the clock, I'm just vibing and chill. And y'all, there was a buffet, which
Any
my husband loves.
any trip where I don't have to worry about getting from A to B, right? And I don't have to worry about making my food or anything like that. Those are the trips that I love where I can just and the trainings. It's kind of why I love deployments because on a deployment, I'm just like I don't have to worry about making food. All I have to
Yeah,
do is show up at the DFAC and eat.
yeah,
And that's what the cruise ship was like,
yeah,
So yeah, and we
yeah.
didn't have to worry about going through airports and stuff. So
No,
yeah,
that
that
was
was a
great. Yeah. And
yeah.
we had like this little balcony and stuff, but you just got to like read and like we had the drink packages. So I had all these mocktails that I was living my best life and you there's a piano guy and so you have like your bourbon and so you just like enjoying that with you. We both just felt so free and there was a hot tub and
Mm.
we got to explore different things on the side trip and yeah, it's just I think that was
Yeah.
my favorite. And then we were both like, we used to think cruises are for people who were alcoholic and didn't actually like traveling, but wanted to say they were traveling
Mm.
and be fancy and just were lazy. And then we are cruise people.
Wow, we're cruise
We're
people.
cruise people.
But that goes
But
back, and that also goes back to the judgment piece, right? The expectations
yeah,
of like why is it a problem that a person wants to go and have a cruise instead of it? Like, yeah, you're right. We could spend $25 a night at a hostel and sleep on a thin mattress and a board surrounded by other people,
which we've done
which we've
many
done.
times.
We could do that. We could save a lot of money. We could get immersed, you know, whatever. We could do those things but we don't need to. Then there's nothing. Yeah, there is not a. I push back now against that judgment.
Yeah,
I think it just comes from hoity-toityness, right? Just
yeah,
like I'm a special traveler because I find the hidden gems and stuff like that, and I go to the cities and the locals love me because I am rich. No, because I'm so accessible.
yeah,
It's just
yeah,
silly.
yeah. Yeah, and we were those judgy people. Yeah. And I think too something yeah, like what you mentioned is that you don't have to do the airport. That's something I didn't think about. Like
Mm,
we got on the what do you call it? The cruise, the
yep.
ship. We
Yep.
got on the ship and then we went to bed and the next day we woke up in another country and there was breakfast and there was the beach and you could walk off and we were I don't know, we went to Japan, Thailand. Where did we go? Bali? No.
Malaysia and then
Malaysia.
Thailand.
Okay. And I was like, what do you mean we're in Malaysia today? We were in Singapore yesterday. And they're like, this is how cruise ships work.
that's how a boat works.
The ship goes. And I was like, I know, but we were in Singapore yesterday. And they're like, yes.
Teleported.
And today we are in Malaysia. And I'm like, and in 2 days we're going to be in Thailand. And they're like, that's not how a cruise ship works. And I'm like, but I don't have to unpack. It like took my brain a minute to like actually realize, because so much of our adventure having, y'all know when I'm like, we're having an adventure. I mean, actually there's multiple ways of adventure, but when I'm like, I'm having an adventure day, it's like, this is rough.
Yeah.
But a lot of the hard parts of us traveling together when we're having our big adventures is the travel part.
Oh, yeah.
And like both of us like to get to the airport like 3 hours early, but sometimes I'm like,
make sure the gate still exists.
Yeah.
Right. That it didn't disappear in the middle of the night.
I'm always so nervous about that. Yeah. But I'm like, it'll be fine, no worries. And Jared's like, about that. And then we get there and something doesn't work. And I'm like, okay, but at least, and Jared's like, I need to go find food. I'm like, yeah, we can just eat here real quick. He's like, I need some real food. Like, let's go. And so, like, we travel well together, but sometimes our priorities are mixed up. So I like that on a cruise we got to. So it's like things you learn after being married that we love traveling.
I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that you are thrifty, right? That you're thrifty with your money. You are no, but like you are good with money. You are not. You do not spend.
I receive.
Ridiculously. You are very frugal. That's the word. You're frugal. Yeah. But holy crap, is it get annoying sometimes. Because we'll be like on a travel, we'll be on a trip, we'll be in a place, and we'll be in a new city. It's like, okay, it's time. Let's go find a place to eat. Let's go find a local joint. Let's go eat some pasta. And you're just like, we don't need to do that. I don't want to spend money. Let's just go and get bread and peanut butter and jelly.
I was just gonna say that.
Let's just go. We can just go get some bread and peanut butter and jelly, and we can have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
I am my father's daughter.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just like, we're in Rome, but we don't need to eat pasta. We could let's just get some crackers. Like there's just we'll just get some crackers and peanut butter and like wash it down with like warm water. It was fine. We'll save money.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating with that sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, I don't want to go to a grocery store and buy the food. I want to go to a restaurant.
I think too, you've gotten better. Like we've had a couple heart to hearts about this. And I think this actually might be interesting for the podcast to hear. Like, you enlisted and then you went officer. So it's an interesting journey too when you have less money to now we have more money, and that adjustment too as a couple and what we're willing to do and spend my frugality. So not that we have to dive into all that, but it is just something to think about as it's like, I'm like peanut butter and jelly because I'm like, we can travel more if we do peanut butter and jelly, you know what I mean? So it's like pasta is good, but more travel is better. Yeah. Oh, okay. Good stuff. Okay. What's a big adventure you want to have in life? And there's like two parts to this question. So like what's a adventure you want to have, like whether you or a guy's trip or something like that, and then what's an adventure you'd like to have with me in the future?
Gotcha. My adventure for me could be for us, but I don't know if you'd be interested in it. But I believe it's called the Camino del Sol, and it's like the walking path in Spain, and it's basically a pilgrimage route, and you walk along it. So that's something that I really would like to do. I don't know if that's something that you would want to join or not. I assumed kind of not, but that's something. I had a guy that I used to work with when we were in Germany, Mr. Castaneda.
Yeah.
Loved him a lot. He was fantastic, and he did the Camino del Sol, and I think that's if I'm getting the name wrong, I apologize. But he did that path, and he said it was a life-changing experience. Just incredible, like you're walking through beautiful areas, and there's stops, like it's built around, the whole route is built up around these the folks taking it. So they've got, hostels for staying in and guest houses, at certain locations. So yeah, you get up, you walk, and then so that's something I want to do.
I did not
know
it's
that. It's a I think it's like probably a week or two.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. I've heard about it before. Cool.
There's something similar in Japan that would be interesting to do, but apparently the Japan one is much more dangerous. There's like people die on that one. So so I'm like, I don't want to do that
one. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to answer the question? You want to answer the personal one first? Like what adventure do you want to have next?
Yeah. I know I wrote down these questions ahead of time, but I think I'd like to I think I'd like to, I don't know if this makes sense, but I think I'd like to do like a sanctuary month
Mm,
in like Thailand or something,
mm,
or Bali or just someplace. I don't know. And maybe it'll come with our like world adventure after you retire or something, but just having a month to explore and live. I feel like so many of our adventures that I've wanted to have, we have had. And so it seems like what's kind of a wild, outrageous, like, oh, actually, no, no, no. I changed my mind. No, I've been thinking about this for a long time. There's a lady, Glory to Henna 2K, on Instagram. I think there's underscores in there. But there's a couple other ladies that they do henna intensive, they do henna
mm,
classes,
mm,
and they're month long. And I've taken them virtually. So she's doing it both teaching the class and she does it virtually. I've taken them virtually, but I think that would be so great to do a month learning from the teacher I've learned from virtually in person.
oh,
Even though it's in Tamil and I use a translator, like it's all good, but I could hire a translator. I just think a month, like hands-on henna, bridal henna, all of it, like, oh, yeah, that would be cool. That would be a solo trip or a together trip or whatever. Or maybe find a friend to go that I would really, really love. And I thought about, I've done the math, but it's just never lined up and it hasn't been a huge priority because I can take it online. So,
yeah,
but
yeah, sure.
yeah, maybe
Cool.
someday. Yeah.
Nice. As a joint thing, I would like to go on another safari with you.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I want to go on a nice overland safari overnight, sleep in the bush type of thing. Through Botswana would probably be the top choice. So yeah, that's an
Mhm.
adventure that I want to have at some point. And that would
Oh,
be a probably a post-retirement adventure at some point or another. But
yeah.
mm,
Um, I think the adventure, yeah, that was fun. I'm just thinking about our past safari stuff. Um, I think an adventure I would like is to go to a big festival LARP with you.
mm,
Like Empire is like a 3,000 person game, or and it's in the UK, or Drakenfest. There's one in America and there's one in Europe that's also English. Um, I think that would be really fun because we've talked about Gulf Wars and Pensick and things like that, but I really like the playfulness of LARPs.
yeah,
And you love LARPing too. I think having a week in character with you,
yeah.
having an adventure would just be delightful. Yeah.
I agree.
Mhm. Um, okay. Favorite part of being married?
Oh, favorite part. I think my favorite part of being married is how much joy we have in our marriage, and how much you are a source of that, right? Like, yeah, that like you are a joyful person, exuberant, excited person, but it's not you're not just like putting on airs, right? You really do.
Mm.
You feel that happiness, and happiness is important to you, and so I think that's my favorite part of our marriage is that like I never have to really I don't have to worry about like when I come home and whether you're going to be in a bad mood or you're going to be unhappy in an unreasonable way. I guess I'll
Mm.
put it that way. Because you can be unhappy and it's reasonable to be unhappy sometimes, but you don't let it get you down for long. And I think that's the my favorite part of marriage is how much joy you have and bring and how easy it is to be joyful with you.
Oh, oh, that's wow. Hmm. I'm just taking that in for a second. Thank you. I love that. I think my favorite part is the way we dream together. Like when we got married, one of our things was we are adventure partners.
Mm.
And I feel like we've lived into that. And like it's I mean, you are my best friend. We get sleepovers, like
Yeah.
it's just so great. But I love doing this life with you, like side by side, and like just the ease of chatting and living and dreaming up and then like following through on the adventures, I think
Yeah.
is one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as we start to kind of like wrap up, something else I think is nice to mention too is like we had good role models for marriage as
Mm-hmm.
well. Like both of our parents are still
Yeah.
married.
Still together.
My parents just had their 37th wedding anniversary, I think, or 36. I can't remember if it's this, I think it's 37, 1 year more than I am.
Mm.
And like the way they love each other is like they're like head over heels for each other. Like they're like newlyweds. I love it. like go team, Tim Melinda, well done. So I think they've set a good job on like marriage and love and navigating things together and yeah, life and just the way that dad working and mom working, just the way that they've shown up in conversations and how they've grown is a really big deal. Yeah, that I love. And then your family.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to say
Same,
anything or
no,
yeah.
same, kind of same thing. Been together 40 years, still,
Yeah.
raised 4 kids and still, I think just as in love as, uh, as when they first got married. So, and they're being a farmer is not an easy profession. Being the spouse of a farmer is not an easy profession. So it's been great to see my mom also kind of branch out as my dad has started taking a step back from the
Yeah.
farming. She's been able to work at the library and be in social clubs and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And they moved into town. That was a big deal.
That was a big
Moved
deal.
off the farm and moved into town. So it's been great to see them that their relationship continues to be strong to that now like, my mom can try new things and my dad can try new things as well. Uh, so yeah, it was a good role model, good to see. Yeah, you're right. Very thankful for that. That like a lot of especially our age group have examples of what a marriage should not look like,
Mm.
right? And we are fortunate to have examples of what it should look like. So
Yeah.
at least, not that we're going to copy them, but at least we know that there's happiness there.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yes. Um, I'm so grateful that you hopped on this with me. Is there any kind of final thoughts, takeaways, things that you want to mention, or yeah, or questions you have? Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I think I did have one. You asked me this, and I was racking my brain trying to come up with a question because I'm like, Jeremy, you don't want to just sit there and look like a bump on a log. You
Yeah.
gotta, I know. So I think the one I kind of came up with, in our life, you've been very good about like you've tried lots of different things, and you've had different interests and different passions and hobbies and
Yeah.
businesses. And many of them you have done for a season and then set aside,
Yeah.
right? Set aside, they're no longer high priority. So I was just wondering, like, what do you see yourself in the next 10 years um, putting aside any of your current hobbies, interests, business, etc., and picking, do you think you'll pick anything new up?
Oh, that's a good question. I was like ready for a marriage question, not a work question. But no, it's totally cool. Um, yeah, I have my mermaid tail hanging up in my office, and I miss that,
Mm,
but I also don't feel the need to like get it back out. I do want to go swimming again soon because I just miss that.
mm,
But I don't know. Henna, as Finkel Pot Fairy Hair has taken off, my henna has taken a back seat.
yeah.
It really honestly have just because of time. Like I'm
Mm,
just booked for gigs, fairy gigs, and doing markets and stuff. And so that's been interesting. So I think that will probably take more of a back seat and be henna. That's something I do for me or something I teach or do workshops because those are always a blast. And I love that. But I just, with how things are now, I think that's kind of how things are going. And then I think I would love to step in more into like speaking and teaching again.
mm,
I really love leading workshops. I really like getting my hands with people. So I'd love to do more of that. And I think what's gonna go away is some of the not frameworks, but like right now I have things split up of like, hey, I do energy work, I do coaching, I do tarot reading, and I
mm,
think it's all gonna start getting blended. And this is something I'm thinking about for the new year, and I've kind of mentioned on and off, is it's just gonna start being you just have a session
mm,
and you just show up and whatever is here is here. Because I have so many tools
right.
that sometimes it's like, even though you're getting a tarot reading, we're gonna do some energy work and I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask you some coaching. And even if we're doing coaching, I'm gonna be like, okay, yeah, but what's happening here on our
Yeah,
body?
you have the
So I
tools.
think splitting less and more like, no, it's this potent time, deeper one-on-one work, more like events, more things like that, and less like one-off kind
Yeah.
of things, I think is where things are going.
I love that idea because I think that has been a frustration and a source of stress for you of you have all these offerings and you felt you felt responsible for offering all of them,
Yeah.
right? That all of them have to be equal offered for anybody who might need it, and that all that really causes stress.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a great idea to combine them and just say, this is, you're getting the Joy Weaver, and whatever that means will be different for every person, but that's what you're getting.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for your reflection.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for having on the podcast. Thank you for sharing your heart. If y'all have more questions, feel free to message. And if there's enough questions, I guess we can always have a part two. Or I can report back and be like, here's his thoughts. So thank you. And for those listening, whether you are in a marriage, whether you are in a relationship, about to get into a relationship, thinking about things, if things are rocky or hard, we hear you, we see you, sending you all of the love. And let today be evidence that good, delighted marriages exist. If you have not seen one before or like heard from one, know that like there is goodness available out there and like it's possible and you can communicate and thrive in a way that feels good for both of you. So have a marvelous day, sing your soul song, friends, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.